All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Rightio, legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we are back with another video. And I didn't make mention in my last video, although I may have. My memory is not the best, but yeah. So I'm actually gonna. So I have about 20 videos that I've removed for various reasons, and we're just gonna remake those videos. We've got some crazy war stories in there, and I know I always get people asking me for war stories and stuff like that. And although it's kind of like counterproductive of what I do, it is a part of my life. And that's what we all here trying to listen about. And, you know, there are things in there that will definitely, you know, hopefully deter you from living your life the same way as I did. Pretty hectic. And, yeah, got stabbed and whatnot a fair few times. And so this next video is about one of the times I was stabbed. And yeah, before I get into it, I'd just like, if you guys are loving my content, if you're loving the Chaos Chronicles and you want to show me some support, all you need to do is jump up there, hit that subscription button. And then if you hit that bell right next to that subscription button, you'll never miss any of my clips again. So yeah, all right, well, let's get into it. So I think this was in about 2007, maybe 2008. So some time ago now. And so myself and a few of my friends were invited to one of my friend's younger sister's debutante ball. So she just wanted all her older brothers, mates there. And so we said, yeah, for sure, we're going to be there for you to support you. And we will definitely be there. Now, keep in mind, pretty rowdy group of mates, but you know, we were all solid and you know, all played by the rules, and none of us were going to be playing up at this debutante ball. And yeah, so the day comes, you know, we're having a couple of drinks before the debutante ball. It is a country debutante ball, so you're allowed to bring in eskies full of alcohol, which is what we did. And yeah, I think it's important that I tell you how I was dressed at this time. So I had slacks on, a black like short sleeve going out shirt on with a pair of white suspenders, and my Larrys hanging out everywhere. So my tattoos, I call my tattoos my Larrys. It's a little joke that me and my cousin have had going for a long time. But you know, my Larrys were out everywhere, and so anyway, I'm lining up in the line. There was a big line to wait to get in. Everyone had to show their tickets, let everyone know who was there and whatnot. So we're waiting in the line, and we got there fairly last. So we're up the back of the line, and we're just having a joke. We're actually having a couple of sly beers on the side around the corner. And then out of the blue, this moron just comes up to me and starts giving me like slack about my tattoos and telling me, "Oh, you think you're tough because you've got all your tattoos, mate, all this shit." And like, I'm looking at all my mates going, "Is this guy for real? Has this guy just walked up to me and told me that like he's hating on me because of my tattoos?" And, you know, I'm politely telling him to fuck off or he's going to get hurt. And, you know, reminding him that, you know, this is a place where there are old people, there are women and children. This is somewhere where you don't want to be making this kind of thing happen, mate. But I can guarantee you now, my friend, you have picked the right person. You have disrespected me and you have disrespected my friends and their family. So, like, yeah, we can definitely get it on, but you're going to have to wait until after this debutante ball. We'll go over to the car park and we'll sort this out like men. Yeah. I think he was a little bit shocked at how upfront I was. And like, keep in mind, back then I was 85 kilos, wringing wet. So, like, wasn't the biggest guy. And I guess, you know, probably didn't look that scary or whatever to that guy. Obviously, like, he just came up and started fighting me for no reason. And so, anyway, yeah, he's walked off and said, yeah, we'll get it on later. All my mates and everyone are going, please, no shit here. And they're all saying, like, look, we understand that wasn't your fault, but please, we need you to promise us that you're not going to cause any trouble here. And I said, no, absolutely not. Like, I will not start a fight here. Yeah. So anyway, we're almost in, and then the guy comes back up to me again, reiterating to me how much he wants to fight me and whatnot. And at this time, it was pretty laughable. I kind of felt that, I had this guy covered anyway. And so it was pretty laughable. And, I kept on, making him feel so special about himself and how tough he must be to come up to people and, be a hero in front of old people and children and females and stuff like that. And just probably really getting him revved up a little bit more than I should have. But anyway, we ended up going into the dead ball. And funnily enough, I never really seen him. Like I was kind of keeping my eye on this guy. So this guy was actually at one of his family members' debutante ball. So they had invited him. And he was from not that area. He was from the Gippsland area. This took place in Benalla. I believe you can Google this, Benalla Town Hall stabbing, and it will come up with my stabbing. But yeah, like I was just trying to keep my eye on him all night and just try and make sure that like there was going to be no bullshit at my mate's little sister's debutante. Um, so anyway, it gets to about like they have some kind of a matinee, I believe it's called, like a halftime thing where you can go out, have a cigarette, talk to your people and whatnot. And so, like by this time, I've half by nearly forgotten about this guy. I'm just there having a fun time. I am absolutely plastered drunk. We're all having a good time, and we're all dancing and stuff like that. And so anyway, yeah, the matinee has come. They've asked if everyone could just leave so they could, I don't know, maybe set up or whatever. But it was a matinee session, so people could. I believe that's what it's called. If it's not, forgive me. I am not that educated in that kind of stuff. But anyway, it was halftime break, smoko. So anyway, me and my mate, Skinny, we had left to go out the front by ourselves to go and have a cigarette, whatnot, talk to the people. And so we left the main hall door, and then in between the main hall door and the front door, there's kind of like an airlock, like there's two doors and there's like like a front area of the town hall where people were paying to get in and stuff like that. And so anyway, I've just walked through the door and I see this guy walking up to me with a hood on his head. And I looked and I'm like, this is that guy. And he's like walking up me, he's ducking through the crowd. And he's like, I could see he was going to try and sneak on me. And so he's pretty much walked up pretty much straight in front of me. And he's put his hand straight into his hoodie front pocket, and I see him pull out the handle of something, which I believed was a knife or something, some kind of a metal bar or something like that. I couldn't tell. It had a yellow handle, and I didn't know if it was sticky tape or a handle of a knife or whatever. And so anyway, this guy's came straight up, tried to pull it out, and I just went whack, a big Liverpool kiss straight on his nose, dropped him to the ground. And so actually there was off-duty police officers there who had daughters and whatnot that were doing their debutante ball. Some of them who I had a bit of a rapport with, and they told me that the police are definitely on their way. You probably should get out of here. And so I said, yeah, no worries. Thanks for that. And so me and my mate continued to walk out of the venue. And so it was only half time, but we've been told to leave by the off-duty police. I didn't want to get arrested, didn't want to cause a spectacle any more than I already did. People had seen him try and pull something out of his jumper. And so I guess I was kind of doing self-defense. And so anyway, we were walking off. We get about 20 meters away and Skinny realizes that he's left his wallet. So he's taken off back into the town hall. And I'm now walking to the corner of this street by myself. And then so about 20 seconds later, I hear Skinny yell out, "Oi!" And I turn around, and just as I turn around, I feel this whop, whop in my stomach, right? Now, I'm not going to lie. At the time, I thought that I had just been punched in the stomach, two of the hardest punches in the stomach that I'd ever had in my life. And then I remember, like, I just straight away just saw black and literally absolutely, like, you know, this guy was going to be picking up his teeth with broken fingers. Like, I was very, very unhappy about this. And then, so anyway, this guy's knocked out on the ground and I'm walking. And by this time, a lot of our other friends had came out and rah, rah, rah. And they said, we seen him come up to you and we seen him punch you in the stomach. So it's self-defense. And now I'm walking back by this stage to the town hall. And as we're walking back to the town hall, I'm saying, like, I can't believe how much those two punches to the stomach hurt. Like, Yeah, one of them was right about here, and the other one was kind of like up underneath my arm. And yeah, I remember like just rubbing my stomach, saying, "Man, I can't believe how much that hurt," to my mate. And then my finger, so my finger actually went straight through my t-shirt like this, and then actually my finger went straight into the stab wound. So like, I've had this moment where I'm like, "Hang on a minute, I've been stabbed," and then so I'm feeling around my other spot where I thought I got punched, and bang, sure enough, I've got another hole here. Um, so all of a sudden, this is the first time I had ever been stabbed, and I'd been sliced before, but I'd never been stabbed, and so I was like, oh shit, this is pretty serious. So I just went bang. I had a button-up shirt, just ripped all the buttons off and ripped my shirt open, and it was like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Chopper Reed movie where he gets stabbed by Jimmy Luffman, and he takes his shirt off, and there's all this just black, red, claret blood all over my stomach underneath. And so it was really so. What actually happened after this was the craziest state of events. So by this stage, like I'm starting to lose my footing, right? So like I'm obviously bleeding a lot. I'm starting to lose my footing. My mates are going, "You need to sit down. You need to sit down." And I didn't want to sit down. Like I wanted to get out of there. I was scared I was going to get arrested. And sure enough, the police rock up. I'm lying down on the ground. They didn't even care. They just heard that I headbutted somebody in the foyer. And so they've just come straight up, 2 carloads of cops, threw me onto my stomach where I'd just been stabbed, put handcuffs on behind my back. And I'm on the ground, and like I'm kind of at this time almost in and out of consciousness at this time. And the whole Deb is just screaming to these cops like he has been stabbed. He did not do anything wrong. This is self-defense. The guy pulled a knife out on him. So this guy was knocked out on the ground still. And as a matter of fact, another couple of my mates, he did try and get up again, and they put him down again. And so they've arrested me and told me that I'm charged with assault and assault by headbutting. And then, it took the off duty police officers to tell these on duty police officers that I had actually been stabbed and rah, rah, rah. So they took the handcuffs off me, and I straight away just took off. I was like, stuff this, I'm not hanging around here. So my mate and Skinny took off straight away. And we get to this car park, which is called Denny Street Car Park in Benalla. It's like the car park that's behind all the shops. Now I'm telling my mate Skinny, I am not going to hospital. I just lost my son in hospital because of the hospital's malpractice. I hate hospitals for this. And like, I guess my fear is that they're going to unalive me in hospital, And so I really, really hate hospitals. The smell of the hospitals just trigger me, and like I just didn't want to be there. So it's really bad. I kind of threatened my friend and said that, I will attack you if you call an ambulance on me. I will be fine. They're just superficial. And he's trying to tell me, he's like, they're not superficial, mate. You're losing a lot of black blood. Like this is 100% serious. And so, yeah, I am 100%. So yeah, I'm at this stage telling him, don't call an ambulance on me, bro. Like I will turn on you. I do not want to go there. They're superficial wounds. And, he's trying to tell me they're not superficial wounds and stuff. And so, yeah, I guess we're not even through this car park yet, and I start falling on the ground. Like I start losing consciousness. I can't walk. I'm spewing up a couple of times. I'm losing a lot of blood. Things are happening very, very quickly, and so. Yeah, one of the times where I was kind of passed out, my mate just called the ambulance and said, "Look, my friend's been stabbed. We're in Denny Street car park, blah, blah, blah." So the ambulance come and got me. I hadn't woken up at this stage, and so they then were driving me to Wangaratta Base Hospital. And so what had actually happened is they actually thought that I was going to pass away in the ambulance, so I was actually switched from a normal ambulance to a micro ambulance, and that's when I woke up again. And that's when these people started to tell me that I'm in a pretty bad state right now, and I'm pretty much dying. they didn't know what organs I'd been stabbed through, but they could tell by the color of my blood that I'd been stabbed through organs. And Yeah, so then we go to the hospital, and yeah, I continue my childish bereavement, saying that I'm not getting operated on. There's nothing you guys can do to me. These are all superficial wounds, and they reassured me that, mate, if you are not operated on within half an hour, you're probably going to die. You've got septicemia right now. Things are going really, really bad for you at the moment. And then I remember they made me do this scan thing where I had to hug some kind of X-ray machine, and then they scanned my insides, and that's when the surgeon sat down next to me and said, like, we have to operate on you now. Like, you will definitely pass away. You've got people out there that love you. Don't do this to them. And like, I was at the stage where if I could have ran, I probably would have taken off running out of that hospital. That's how much I didn't want them to do to me what they did to my son. And that's just how I thought at the time. They unalived my son, and I just figured that that's what they were going to do to me too. And yeah, so I ended up consenting and saying, yeah, let's do the operation. And so yeah, so what actually happened was I was actually stabbed straight through my spleen. So the one that went in here. So I was actually stabbed 3 times, but the knife was that big. So it was a 15 centimeter boning knife. So if you guys know those real flimsy fishing knives that are real skinny, so it was one of those. So the first one went straight in, up and under my rib cage. And the second one went straight through my spleen, but the blade was that big. He didn't even pull the blade all the way out before he went in through the second stab. And then the third one got me straight under here. But the one that one was kind of a superficial one, didn't get any organs, but the one that went up under my rib cage went straight through my spleen. And so yeah, I was in a very, very bad way. And yeah, so yeah, I guess I remember I was in a coma for a couple of days. And then when I woke up out of the coma, I remember there was no one around me. And I thought that I was in the hospital by myself. My family had gone downstairs for a cigarette or whatnot. And yeah, I remember I was in that much pain. I had a 29 staple scar that goes from just below my sternum to just above my groin, and then obviously the stab wound marks as well. And I'm telling you, I was in that much pain, I could not even talk, and I was just trying to like get someone in the hospital to notice me so that I could tell them how much pain I was in. I managed to get to see a nurse. I waved her down. She came over. I said, listen, I cannot talk, like I'm in that much pain. She handed me this little button, and I then continued to press that button apparently every 3 minutes for 72 hours. That's how much pain I was in. But yeah, I nearly died that night. And of all places, I was at a debutante ball. And I guess, this is going to push me into my next bit of my video, saying that, like, even if you don't live a life of crime, even if you don't do drugs and this and that, you can be that person who just ends up on the end of a knife. It is very, very common these days. It is very, very, very dangerous. Not many people like myself. Now, I've made mention of this other times. I've been stabbed 7 times. I've been shot. Not many people that have been put through what I've been through are here to tell their stories. So I guess my whole point in this is to tell you guys, just steer clear from fighting 100%. I know what it's like growing up as a male, especially in regional towns. There's this big stigma how you've got to be a fighter and stuff, but this is 2025, guys, and 90% of these teenagers are carrying knives and machetes and stuff like that, and it's just not worth it. Do you know what I mean? The last thing you want to do is go out somewhere where you're supposed to be having fun and not come home to your family because you decided to fight when there was a knife in place. Now, I've made mention of this in other videos too, and I always had this thing, an older person taught me this. very early on in my crime days, and it was, if someone pulls a knife out on you, you run away. If someone pulls a gun out on you, you run towards them. See, the thing is, it's a lot easier to get a lot hurt with knives than is with guns. Now, I know that sounds so stupid, but like it is so easy. Now, you got to understand, when people are stabbing people, they're not professionals. They're just swinging their arm willy nilly. And so every time that knife hits you, it's stabbing you in a different spot. Hence why people are not alive to tell these stories when they after they've been stabbed. Now, all you have to do is watch the news. You couldn't watch the news for 2 days straight and it not see one or two stabbings in Victoria, Queensland, New South Wales, the other side of the country, Adelaide, Western Australia, Northern Territory, even stabbing crimes are through the roof. And it is absolutely the dumbest idea, thinking that you can sit there and, take on somebody with a knife in their hand. You absolutely can't. And like, I did post a video about 12 months ago, if you find it, on knife crime. Now, these are professional knife handlers, people that like have close combat training, like professional soldiers, trying to stop people that have zero training with knives in their hand. And it doesn't matter how much training you have. If somebody is thrashing their hand around willy nilly, it is going to end up in your body. And trust me, not many people live to tell these stories, which is why I'm here today to tell you guys that, fighting is just not worth it. It's not 1956 anymore. You don't have to prove how tough you are. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You know what I mean? And this is why I try and steer you guys out of that gang life, the bike club life, because, this is the kind of things that happens in that life. And I just hate to see you guys fall victim to that. I really, really hate it. I hate the knife crime. And yeah, I would just like to say that, yeah, that's the end of my video. And yeah, don't do drugs and crime, and don't fight, and you won't get stabbed. It's as simple as that. And if you are ever in a situation where somebody pulls a knife out on you, you need to let them people know that you're going to be taken off quick smart like Usain Bolt. But anyway, guys, that's the end of my video. If you guys are loving my content, I have been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Jump up there and shoot me a subscription. That's how you show me your support. I would really, really appreciate it. If you hit that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. Rightio, folks. I've been the Chaos Chronicles. We out.